And welcome back to episode 2 of Beyond the A-League. This channel is a dedicated channel for all things National Premier Leagues from around the country. This week on Beyond the A-League, we'll preview the round 1 action in both the NPL Victoria and NPL New South Wales competitions, as well as review the NPL WA Night Series round 2 results. Also, we have a brief rundown on the history of Marconi Stallions from the NPL New South Wales competitions. I will also have my own predictions for round 1, but again, those predictions mean nothing at all. So let's start with round 1 preview from the NPL New South Wales competition. Round 1, we have Manly United versus the Central Coast Mariners on Friday night. Then on Saturday, we have the Western Sydney Wanderers versus the newcomers Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Sydney United versus Sutherland Sharks. Sydney Olympic versus St George FC. NWS Spirit versus Sydney FC. RPA Leichhardt versus the Wollongong Wolves. And Marconi versus Blacktown City. And defending premiers Rochdale versus St George City. My picks for round 1 of the NPL New South Wales competition are Manly United, Mount Druitt to cause an upset there, being the newcomers to the competition, Sutherland Sharks, Sydney Olympic, Sydney FC, RPA Leichhardt to beat the Wolves, Marconi and Rochdale to start the seasons off with a victory. As I said, my predictions mean absolutely fuck all. Moving on to round 1 of the NPL Victoria competition. Tonight we have Melbourne Knights versus Heidelberg. On Friday we have 3 games being played. Port Melbourne versus South Melbourne is the pick of those 3 games. Oakland Cannons versus Avondale and Preston Lions versus Hume City. On Saturday we only have the 1 game, Dandenong Thunder versus Green Gully. On Sunday we have 1 game and it's the other Dandenong team, Dandenong City, and they play St Albans Saints. To finish off round 1 we have a Monday night game between the Victory and the Altona Magic. Again, my picks for round 1 are Heidelberg United, South Melbourne, Oakley Cannons, Preston Lions, Green Gully, Dandenong City and Melbourne Victory. If we go to the NPL WA Night Series round 2 results, we had Bayswater City and Olympic Kingsway a 0-0 draw. Fremantle City got smacked by Armidale 4-1. Balcatta Etna got beat 3-1 by Perth Glory. Western Knights beat Floreat Athena 3-0. Perth Soccer Club beat Stirling Macedonia 2-0 and Sorrento beat Perth Red Star 2-0. If we have a quick look at the round 3 action, which starts tomorrow night over here in WA, we have from Group A, we have Fremantle City versus Perth Glory and Bayswater City versus Balcatta. Both of those games are on at Frank Drago Reserve at 6:30 and 8:30. The games start on Saturday. There's no Friday night games. It's a State League Night Series Friday night games. The other game from Group A is Armidale versus Olympic Kingsway at Alfred Skeet Reserve in Armidale at 7:30pm on Sunday. From Group B, we have Perth versus Sorrento and Stirling Macedonia versus Floreat, both from Macedonia Park at 6:30 and 8:30 on Saturday. Perth Red Star versus Western Knights from Alfred Skeet Reserve on Sunday at 5:30. So that's all for the NPL preview and wrap this week. I'll be right back with the second part of the episode with a somewhat in-depth look at one of Australia's most legendary clubs, and that team is Marconi Stallions. Welcome back to Beyond the A-League. This week I thought I would start having a look at clubs from each NPL competition with a somewhat in-depth history look at the clubs. This week I have decided to have a look at one of the most recognisable clubs in Australian football, that is Marconi Stallions. In the heart of Sydney's western suburbs, a football club stands as a testament to the passion and resilience of its community. This is the story of Marconi Stallions, a club with a rich history deeply rooted in the Italian-Australian experience. The story begins in 1956 when a group of Italian immigrants seeking a sense of community in their new home founded Club Marconi, named after the famed Italian inventor Guglielmo Marconi. The club initially focused on bocce, but football soon took centre stage. It wasn't long before Marconi Stallions emerged from these humble beginnings, steadily climbing the ranks of the New South Wales football system. Their rise was impressive, a reflection of the dedication and skills of the players, coupled with their unwavering support from their tight-knit community. Think about it from a local amateur leagues to challenging for national titles. That's quite a journey. 1977 marked a pivotal moment in the club's history. Marconi became a founding member of the NSL, the National Soccer League, Australia's first truly national football competition. This catapulted the club onto the national stage where they would become a force to be reckoned with. The NSL era, spanning from 1977 to 2004, became a golden age for Marconi. They weren't just participants, they became a powerhouse, attracting some of Australia's finest players, names etched in Australian football history like Mark Schwarzer, Steve Corica and Frank Farina graced the Marconi Stadium pitch, thrilling their fans with their talent and passion. These weren't just local heroes, they were national stars. And success soon followed. Marconi's NSL record speaks for itself. 4 championships, 79, 80, 82 and 89, and a single NSL Cup in 1988. These victories weren't just trophies, they were symbols of excellence, a source of immense pride for the Italian-Australian community. They solidified Marconi's place amongst the league's most dominant forces. Think about rivalries, the packed stadiums, the roar of the crowd. It was an era of truly captivating football. With the NSL's demise in 2004 and the subsequent rise of the A-League saw Marconi, along with many other clubs, transition to the state-based leagues. While they may have stepped away from the national spotlight, the club's spirit remained unbroken. They continued to compete, nurture young talent, and maintain their strong community connection. This resilience is a key part of the Marconi story. Now, as the landscape of Australian football evolves with talks of a national second division, Marconi finds itself potentially on the cusp of a return to a national competition. This new chapter holds immense promise, a chance for the Stallions to reclaim their place among the nation's elite. The Marconi story is one of resilience, a testament to the enduring power of community and the beautiful game. As they look towards the future, perhaps a return to national competition, the Marconi Stallions continue to embody the spirit of their founders. carrying the torch of their legacy into the next generation. Now, with the thought of an A-League second division that has been promised for years and never eventuated, I have some thoughts about that. I'd done a podcast on the Breakdown podcast with Aaron Beggs. It was one of my second shows about my thoughts on having a A-League second division and how it should work. If you'd like me to share that, I will put that up on this YouTube page. The way that Football Australia has said they're going to do it is not the way it should be done. But my way is a pretty good way. Just a little bit more with Marconi. The National Soccer League was my first introduction to most of these state-based teams like the Melbourne Knights, Marconi, Sydney Olympic, Sydney United, Wollongong Wolves. I remember going to watch the NSL games at Brandon Park in Wollongong, watching the Wolves versus all these teams. So a little trip down memory lane there with these NPL clubs from New South Wales especially. But I look forward to giving more of a history about other clubs like Lions FC in the Queensland NPL, and as I said, Melbourne Knights and Adelaide City and Olympic Kingsway and Armidale teams over here in WA. Marconi's history speaks for itself with 4 NSL championships, an NSL premiership, minor premiers 3 times, and NSL Cup 1 time. They are also the reigning champions in the NPL New South Wales competition with last year's title plus 3 before that from 72, 73 and 2012. So that's it for Marconi. That's pretty much all I have time for in this episode of Beyond the A-League. I hope you enjoyed this week's preview of NPL New South Wales and Victoria, plus the review of round 2 of the NPL WA Night Series and the preview of round 3 as well, and the brief look back at history of one of our most famous clubs. On next week's episode, we will have a preview of the NPL Northern New South Wales round 1 action, as well as a review of the round 1 action from New South Wales and Victoria, and the review of round 3 from the WA Night Series. I'll also have a preview of round 2 action from New South Wales and Victoria and round 4 of the WA Night Series. Don't forget, if you want to watch all of your NPL action, it starts tonight with the Football Victoria NPL comp starting, but this week's action you can catch it on the NPL New South Wales, Football New South Wales YouTube channel and the Football Victoria YouTube channel. There's also games under the Kappa competition for Queensland NPL on their YouTube channel. It's some good games there. And don't forget, if you like what you hear, what we're doing here, then hit the subscribe button, give us a comment, let us know what you think about how we're going. I'd love to hear from whoever is watching this. Be kind to each other, and we will catch you next week. Next week it'll be an earlier podcast, not the day of a game, obviously. A little bit come up during the week. But cheers, be kind to each other. See you later.